All right, Mitch, I'm gonna say it again like that. I'm gonna say your name in the beginning because you know what this weekend is, or this
You didn't.
Friday.
You didn't start by saying Mitch.
I
It was
said
the
all
third
right.
word.
No, I said all right,
The second
Mitch.
word. Yeah.
But
It was still. It wasn't just Mitch.
you know what this Friday is?
Um.
What's the apocalypse for the United States?
Trump.
Well, I was gonna say Black Friday, but I mean,
Yeah.
you go that route because Black Friday actually looks like the apocalypse. I don't know if you've seen those YouTube videos of people.
Oh, I've seen the videos.
That's actually the apocalypse. At least the last, I don't know how long, but that's what it is. And I, I'm not stupid. I'm not getting in those lines except if I want to fight. If I feel like I want to fight, I'll probably get in those lines and not buy anything. But everything's just online now. Why am I gonna go get in line, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say that isn't Cyber Monday a thing now? So
Yeah,
why
but
bother?
I don't even know if Cyber Monday is like a thing anymore because Amazon has their Black Friday sales that everybody shops on Amazon now, specifically me too. So it's like they've had their Black Friday
Well,
sales
no,
for
no.
like 3 weeks.
Only big cities and big places shop on Amazon.
I
If you're
guess
not in like a big city, no one gives a fuck because Amazon don't give a fuck about you. So
really, I would have think they at least got your in Prime in 2 days or something.
no, it's only big places.
Well, I feel good about myself though because I live in a good city.
No, you
But
just live in a city. It hasn't got to be good.
hey, I live in a city.
Yeah.
You're right.
I
So
live near one, but we haven't got Amazon because I don't like the UK.
they don't like the UK.
No, we don't have like all the like Amazon Prime over here is not worth it.
Well, good because they're not the only ones. The U.S. don't like the UK either. I'm just kidding.
No, Trump loves the UK. We're top of the list now.
You're right. Welcome to another episode of Off the Page. I'm Joe. That's Mitch. Find us on Twitter. I'm at the Joe Aranda, Aranda. He's at Mitch692. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. We have to keep it going like that, where I sound like I'm saying a question mark.
Two?
And then one of these days, you got to change it and be like, "Nope, it's changed." No, you probably
Well,
won't change it.
I always wanted to change it. I just don't know what to. It's just kind of like, oh fuck it, I'll just keep it. Like, that
See,
692 stuck with me from my high school email. So
uh, I I've been like because sometimes I see people and they have clever at names, but at the same time I'm just like I kind of just want my name on it so it's simple, and I would just change the username to something clever, you know. So it's like because mine or yours would be Mitch692, but your username instead of your name it could be a like clever play on your name or something like.
oh, I mean, like Twitter's been doing recently with like Halloween and Thanksgiving.
Oh, I don't know about that. I just meant like let's
Get
say
like loads of people be like having their names changed.
I
That's really weird.
I just meant like if since my name's Joe, I don't know, Joe Schmo or something. I don't know, some clever play on words for people's names. Because that's what some people have for their at name, and I don't know. It's like I wouldn't put that. Well, it's
Fair
already too
enough.
late. I don't want to change it anymore. I'm too lazy. Too lazy. And I still have yet to get Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Well, you know, I can't get it.
Oh, you can't till a while, like a couple days, right?
I've got to wait till fucking Wednesday.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Hopefully, I could get that in the new DS before you get it, so I can like pass you
Well, no,
up. Because
I'll be getting it on Wednesday. So,
I probably won't get it before then.
and with the time difference, by the time you probably woken up, I'll probably have it.
Dang it! I'm trying to pass you. But we do have some good pieces of news this week. We also have some really good comics of the week. I know we missed the show last week, scheduling. It happens, especially between me and Mitch since he's in the UK. I'm not. You know, he has to follow my time because we're the best.
No, no, no.
No, we're not the
You're
best.
gonna follow my time from now on.
Oh, okay. It's gonna be like 3 in the morning for me. Like Mitch is in the afternoons. All right, Joe, you ready? What?
It's like
Is it?
fucking normally 3 in the morning for me.
I
It's just
know.
like, oh,
So you got. So you moved to. Oh, well, I don't know if you can move to the US anymore. The borders are gonna close down. Just got it.
well, if Brexit happens, might not be able to fucking leave.
Nobody's gonna be able to leave in the world.
Yeah.
Everybody's just gonna have to stay where they are.
Countries would just become like three-dimensional cubes.
Well, see, this is how the gaming companies can bank on with multiplayer games and be like, you can't leave your country. It's cool. You can still play with your friends overseas via multiplayer online.
Yeah, but it ain't got lag and all that.
Well, I don't know, but I don't got no lag. I got
No,
good connection.
you would have lag. Like no matter how good your connection is, if you're connecting to me, you've got like the latency from your information getting from you to me. Like that's just lag. You can't avoid that.
I never thought of it like that.
No, that's why like no one likes playing with Australians because they're like the furthest away from everybody.
Well, I mean, it's more than that, but
and their internet shit.
Yeah, so we might as well get started with the news pieces today, and we're gonna be started off with something that we kind of want to start doing, similar to the solicitations and how we do it every month for DC and Marvel, and we choose our top 10 and whatnot. But for this new thing that we're going to be doing is talking about the top comic sales that happen, or the top 10 comics, basically, of that month. And usually they come out, at least what it seems like, they're coming out in the middle of the month after. So since it's the middle of November, talk about October top 10 comics. And I mean, there's a list like that. Doesn't seem too crazy. Well, I thought it was going to be filled more with Marvel, because of course Marvel started the whole Marvel Now thing, like Marvel Now 2.0, but you didn't think so, right, Mitch? You thought it was going to be
Well, I'm surprised there's not more number ones from Marvel in the top 10. I'm surprised what they have in there is half and half.
Mm-hmm.
Well, is it half and half? Or is it?
Yeah, I mean, half and 4-4.
Yeah.
Because well, we might as well just get started.
Well, no, I was meaning more like the Marvel. Like I can't remember what the Marvel titles were.
Oh well,
I know one of them's not a number one, though.
Well, we'll get to it right now as we count down the top 10 comics of October. At number 10, The Walking Dead, number 159 by Image. Makes sense. Walking Dead.
Yeah, it's always in the top 10.
Usually. Number 9, All-Star Batman. Number 3, DC. Batman.
It's Batman.
Yeah.
They're always in the top 10.
It's Scott Snyder, too, as well. So, it makes sense. Number 8, Darth Vader. Number 25, Marvel.
That's the one I couldn't think of.
Yeah, but it also makes sense too, because not only is it Star Wars, but it's the end of these. Yeah, it's the last one. It's the ending to the run that the writer had on this, and not because it got canceled, shortened, whatever. That was just his ending. You know.
Yeah,
it happens. Yeah. All right.
Which it's so weird because like Rogue One comes out in less than a month. Darth Vader's in Rogue One. Why is it ending?
Yeah, I mean, there's other comics that are coming out, but you would think since Darth Vader's in that, as you said, right?
It's just kind of like push Vader a bit more. Like fuck it, why not?
Maybe
it's been going on for over a year, obviously, but just like Or it's 25. Oh yeah, it's 2 years. Mm-hmm.
But
got the count.
Maybe the writer just didn't want to push it. And he was glad that Marvel didn't push for more, because maybe it wouldn't have made so much sense. I don't know.
I mean, it's something different. Like you don't really hear this too often, but
yeah, exactly. Number 7, Civil War 2. Number 6, Marvel. Makes sense. Big event for Marvel.
Apparently, a lot of people like Civil War.
There's only you told me before. There's only really a small vocal minority that don't like it, but they're really passionate about how they don't like it somehow or something.
Well, it's the same with everything, isn't it? Like you always get the more negative people.
Yeah, but yeah, as you said,
but I'll be interested.
People do like it. Yeah.
Be interested to see like the percentage of people who are hate buying it and hate reading it, as opposed to people that genuinely enjoy it.
Is that a thing?
Well, people hate watch shows.
Yeah,
I can't
maybe
see
get that. I maybe get like hate watching. I don't get hate reading.
Well, I knew of someone who was hate buying this at the start, at least.
You're giving them money. Does that?
I don't know. I never understood it. It's like, why complain about it, but you're actually telling them that you want more of that book.
Exactly. So going on to the next one. Number 6, Batman. Number 9, DC. As well as number 5 is Batman. Number 8, DC.
More Batman.
More Batman, and this was the number 9 was the part 1 of the I Am Suicide storyline. 8 was the end of the monster event that they had in the Batman titles. That makes sense. Batman as well. Batman is usually going to be in the top 10. That's how it is. Especially this one, number 4, Dark Knight 3, The Master Race, number 6, DC. I don't know who's buying this, to be honest.
No. I don't know anyone. No, they started this in December of last year.
Yeah.
No.
I dropped it. I wasn't feeling it. Dark Knight Returns, it's a good book. A lot of people put in their top 10 comics events ever or stories. Not me necessarily. But it's good. I don't know. I wasn't really feeling the Dark Knight 3 or Dark Knight 3, Master Race.
Yeah, I never even tried it. It's just a cash grab. Right. They don't care. Why should I care?
It's $6 too. Maybe it's a lot of pages actually. I don't know really. I don't remember how much pages it was, but it felt long. And it's one of those things that is gonna be put into like a big omnibus hardcover type thing. Oh, you can have the Dark Knight mask with it if you buy it or something.
Yeah, it's going to be put into more than just one. Yeah, you'll have loads.
At number 3, Doctor Strange and the Sorcerer Supreme, number 1, Marvel.
I don't understand this one. I get it. Yes, it's Doctor Strange. It's a number 1, but it's not the mainline one, which I'm surprised at.
Yeah, this one has, I think you mentioned like Merlin and some of the other Sorcerer Supreme, because I agree with you. Doctor Strange movie came out, movie was coming out since this is October. It makes sense why it would be in the top, but maybe the Sorcerer Supreme run is better.
No.
It's just an anomaly to use that it's this one and not the main one.
Yeah, okay. I just find it's. I don't know if it's like branding that's throwing people off of it, because kind of this is the only Doctor Strange book out now. I'm going to buy this one. And people just don't know there's the other one, but I don't know.
At number 2, Champions, number 1, Marvel. Makes sense. Champions. Yeah. It's a good book. It also has the younger heroes that are also more diverse in their ethnicities as well. So, and like I said, number one's work. It worked with Rebirth, works with Marvel now, works with all the whatever you want to call them, reboots, relaunching.
Then I hate when people call them reboots because it's such the wrong word. It's
like isn't it technically relaunch?
Yeah. It's not. I suppose you could call it a relaunch, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
but some people go like, they reboot every year. It's like, no, they don't.
It's not a reboot, yeah. But makes sense as we both like Champions as well. So
yeah.
And at number 1, Big Trouble in Little China / Escape from New York crossover, number 1 from Boom.
What even is that?
I mean, you didn't even know for a while that this was a thing, right?
Nope. I found out about it.
Yeah, I remember reading about it a while back ago, but didn't think it'd make number 1. What was your surprise though of this top 10 list?
That, to be honest.
Me too. That and number 1, Big Trouble in Little China and Escape from New York crossover, number 1. How? I mean, I get the movies are fun. They're old. They're nostalgic, but I don't know how did the comic just propel over everybody else?
Well, I've not seen anyone talk about it.
Me either. Never heard everybody else talk about everything else.
So unless people just rushed out to buy it the last day of the month, and that I don't know, but
yeah, that's just a weird one. That is especially the weird one. And, I mean, good on Boom. They got number 1, right? Good on Boom. That's what they wanted. It's usually going to be Marvel, DC, maybe mostly an Image book. Boom and Valiant and all the other ones, you won't see them a lot in the top 10. I
was going to say, from what you usually get, it's Marvel, DC, and Image in the top 10. With Image usually being 10th with Saga or Walking Dead.
Yeah, or I mean any one of those books usually it cracks at least at number 10. But as we said, that was the top 10 comics of October. And it's also worth noting that in the kind of shares and how much money they made and everything, Marvel again on top as it was.
Well, you say again, it's the first time since Rebirth happened that they got back on top.
That's what I meant. On top because of Marvel Now, and DC was on top because of DC Rebirth. So it's just to prove the point that these relaunches, whatever you want to call them, or number 1s coming out, they do help make the money, and it doesn't matter which company it is because it does it for the both of them. So people just I don't know. There's some crazy people on the internet, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So with that, we'll move on to our next piece of news, and that is Rat Queen's returns with a new #1. Oh, Mitch, how excited are you?
I'm so happy. Oh.
And what would you call this though? Since it's a relaunch or revamp,
it's. I think they used the word soft reboot, but I don't know. I haven't read it. I got it to March, so
it's a fresh, soft reboot.
I assume he's gonna keep everything that came before, but I don't know. I wouldn't mind if he did just straight up reboot it, but
yeah. But it should
I'm just
be
glad it's back.
That fans of this Image series, Rat Queens, it was kind of on hiatus. It wasn't really canceled because Mitch says canceled, but I mean, it's technically he said the writer said hiatus.
It was a permanent hiatus. Well, it's semi-permanent now, but it sounded like it was cancelled for good at that point. But
and a lot of that had to do with the artists. Am I right? Of what happened? Yeah. So fans of the series can rejoice, can be happy, because Rat Queens #1 is scheduled to debut March 1st with the first arc titled Cat Kings and Other Garys. I've never read Rat Queens, but Mitch, other friends like Santiago and other people have told me read Rat Queens, a really good book from Image.
I will preach it all day long. People to read this book.
Yeah,
it's so good.
It has a certain feel of wackiness to me though, just because of how.
She like Dungeons and Dragons, like your sword and sorcery sort of stuff, and like a bit of what's the word? A bit of raunchy humor. I'm gonna say that. A bit like your dark comedies. Then you'll like this.
I mean, heck yeah, I'm really into sword and sorcery type stuff, so I'll make sure to give it a try, especially with this new #1. Since it's a fresh, soft reboot, I don't expect everything to be carried over. Maybe some of it, but I think they're gonna start the new arc and get back to the basics, right?
I'm expecting a time jump, to be perfectly honest.
Okay.
To because I can't remember if they actually gave the last arc like a definitive end or not. Can't remember the last book, but like you just jump from that point, and I don't know. You put them in a different like time in their lives and situation, then you can carry on from there.
Well, it's getting back to the basics, as the writer likes to say, in terms of what everybody liked about Rat Queens, because it had about a little bit more than 20 issues, right?
Something like that. I can't remember. Not really remember. But.
Maybe a little bit under, or just around 20. We'll say around 20. Yeah. Maybe a little bit under or over. But yeah, people who are fans or people who have heard about this and were thinking of trying it, Mitch will preach it, and he will tell you every week, check it out. At least check it out.
And it's definitely worth checking out what came before.
Yeah. I mean, especially if been wanting to get on board, here's a new #1. You know what I mean? This is what they're about, new #1s. They're about getting people who are kind of on the fence, or new people getting on board with the series and the characters. So with that, though, we'll go on to our next piece of news, and that is Unworthy Thor changes artists. Not too much to get worried about, because
no, it's RB Silver, isn't it?
Yeah, the guy who did Amazing Spider-Man. It's not it's not gonna have a terrible kind of change, because I've seen comics that have terrible changing artists, like the recent Cyborg issue for DC Rebirth. You remember that, Mitch, when someone posted that?
Yeah.
Gosh, it was nasty, but it won't be a terrible change. But also, it should be noted that the artist who started on Unworthy Thor, Oliver Copo, they don't really give explanation, but hey, as long as it stays consistent, and with Jason Aaron writing, he's gonna have an epic 5 issues, which it kind of had some of these creative problems at first. Not really in terms of how the story is.
I don't know if I called it creative problem as so much
publishing problems. Want to say that?
I wouldn't even call it a publishing problem, because I think it was more of a marketing thing.
Okay.
Where they just fucked up. Is it going to be an ongoing, or is it going to be a miniseries? Like, I think they just generally fucked up on that.
Because
unless he changed his mind, and I thought, no, I'm going to make it a mini 5 issue.
The series was announced as an ongoing series, as Mitch said, and then later shortened to 5 issues. But we all know this is going to lead to a new ongoing series, which did. Yeah, I mean, I don't think really Unworthy Thor was more so just to have closure and to bring Thor back to being worthy,
Oh yeah,
most likely. So
yeah.
there you go. Not really.
The only thing I'm a bit concerned if the art's going to change the tone of the book,
Ooh.
because Silver's a very different style of artist. So, but
We're just gonna have to wait and see on that, because the next issue, that number 3, which you'll be seeing the art change, is scheduled to be released in January 4th. So new year, new artist. I don't know, but we're just gonna have to wait and see on that, because Unworthy Thor is actually really good. So I'm excited. Yeah,
Space Guns.
Exactly. So going on to the next BC news, we have Marvel announces a new Darth Maul series. And for people that are fans of Darth Maul, which there's a lot of people that love him, because, I mean, he was the first guy with the kind of staff lightsaber in the movies, and especially in the Clone Wars series, he got even more of a fan base. So here's more of his origin, I want to say. It sounds like...
You could. I imagine you can call it an origin. You know, they say his training and all that. So
it's when he's younger, as you said, he's training, and you're just gonna see how he started off. Maybe he didn't look like how he looked in the beginning, or maybe he did. Who knows?
Well, no, that's his race, isn't it? Isn't that how they look?
Yeah, but maybe he looked a different way. Maybe he put extra horns. Maybe he put an extra piercing. I don't know. The old canon is out. The new canon is here. So they could change up a lot of stuff. But honestly, Darth Maul is one of those characters that's really cool.
What happened first? Was he the king of the White Walkers on the wall? Or was he the Sith first?
The king of the White Walkers?
Because
he looks like him, but I was just like, wait, where's he going with this? I was like, and then I looked at the picture, I was like, he does look like him.
It's exactly the same.
Hey, Game of Thrones is in the past. It's canon now, so he was king of the White Walkers first, which we still haven't really gotten to seeing that much in.
And it makes sense because Daenerys is going to be in Game of Thrones and the Han Solo movie.
Oh, she is. I'm excited for that. I don't blame her for the new Terminator, which I still thought was kind of fun, but
it was a terrible movie and a terrible director.
It's just me and Armin, or maybe Tom that as well. Like's a strong word.
Terminator Granny Smith was not a good movie.
Granny Smith. We tolerate that movie. We'll put it at that. We tolerate it because it's fun, but it's not really that great of a movie. But
it's not even fun. It's just bad.
There's
nothing fun about it.
But this Darth Maul #1 is scheduled to debut in February. Now, there's not much like the exact date. We just know in February. Not February, right, Mitch?
Fuck knows how I just say February.
In February. Look, who's trying to say February with the R?
I imagine people say it properly.
They should, or else don't say it at all. But this is gonna be pretty cool. I'm excited, and I mean, one of these days, maybe he could show up in a Star Wars story movie. We already kind of know the next two, right? We don't know the third one.
I don't know. Do we actually know the next two?
Because it's the Han Solo.
Oh, we got Han Solo. What's the other one?
Rogue One.
Oh, I wasn't counting Rogue One.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's virtually out now, so I was like, oh.
Yeah, so, but the one after that, we really don't know. But it would be nice to see.
Well, the one after that's the Han Solo movie.
So we don't know the one in the middle?
No, don't know the one after the Han Solo movie.
Well, that's what I was saying. We don't know that one. We don't know the third one. And it would be cool to see him again on screen, especially since the Star Wars story seems to be taking place in the past. But this is the reason why I wish that whole Netflix rumor with Star Wars TV shows was a thing, because we could see more or something like this, the Darth Maul.
Well, with Disney possibly buying Netflix, you never know.
You really never know. I mean, they put all their money into the Star Wars. They're making it back. And now, if we got some Star Wars Netflix shows, oh, that would just be great.
I'd say if you can make a dark, gritty Star Wars show in the Netflix budget, do it.
Oh, with Darth Maul? Oh, man.
Well, you could do it with anyone, because you don't necessarily need lightsabers for a Star Wars story.
That's exactly true. But I don't know. I would like to see a little bit with Darth Maul. And I've been saying since 7 came out, since the whole Snoke thing, I've always wanted to see the very, very beginning of it all, how it kind of started, or who's the first Jedi who turned
maybe
to
you
Sith.
could do that, have a Snoke Snoke series. Like, why don't you do the reveal on who he is? Like, have a Snoke series.
Because a thing I love about kind of this fandom, not only Star Wars, but kind of like the geek fandom or this place, is that you not only see these great entertainment stuff, movies, TV shows, whatever, but it's the speculation part of it. It's it's the talking.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh man, what if this happened? What if this happened? You get yourself hyped up. And that happens sometimes in sports too, but it's more so just about teams and how good they are. But I just love the speculation aspect of it, because when that movie came out, we all just started talking day in, day out of what could possibly it mean.
Well, you had that before, like even before the movie came out.
No, I know.
Like, oh my god, who is it?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, that's what I love, especially even after the movie comes out, because once you see it, So, yeah. So, with that, though, we'll move on to our next piece of news, which is the last piece of news, and that is Marvel announces 3 new Daredevil spin-offs with the new Running with the Devil arc that will be starting with Daredevil number 17, but the other spin-offs of the series are Elektra number 1, Kingpin number 1, and Bullseye.
You see Bullseye's Spanish cousin.
Because it hit the E, and I was like, Bullseye, wait, that's Bullseye.
Or is it Poussey from Orange is the New Black?
Yeah. I still haven't seen the newest season of that.
Oh, well, ignore what I just said then.
Oh, okay. But if you're a fan of Daredevil, this is for you. It's coming out in February 2017, Running with the Devil, the new arc that'll be spinning off to multiple titles, Elektra, Kingpin, Bullseye. I'm not the biggest fan of Daredevil. I like Daredevil. I think you're on the same page with me. We're not the biggest fans. We like him. Yeah.
But, I'll read Daredevil if I'm in the mood for it. It's not something I can keep up with constantly.
I don't know necessarily if I'll be keeping up with these newer ones like Elektra, Kingpin, or Bullseye.
I want to try Elektra out, but the others,
Yeah, because it should also be noted that the writer or a writer for Luke Cage, the Netflix show, is writing the new Elektra title, and Elektra is now looking similar to her Netflix appearance in Daredevil.
It's not even like trying to hide it. It's like, no, we're just going to do the TV show Elektra.
I like the title, though. I like, not the title, the cover. Because, I mean, especially how the series title looks on it, Elektra, and then the Psy, right? The Psy, Is that what you call it?
Yep.
Okay, the Psy as the T. That's just dope. But yeah, if you're a fan of Daredevil, this is for you. And if you're a big fan, especially because I think even you were saying that they are starting to. There's a trend you think Marvel's doing with this.
Yeah, there's a definite. Yeah. If they do I'm just waiting for a third one.
3 is a trend, right?
A third group of titles with a subtitle to it, but which one it will be, I don't know.
But yeah, not much.
Actually, no. I'm gonna call it for the Guardians because they got Gamora coming out.
Oh yeah, kind of forget about that.
That's been announced when Marvel's now started.
Yeah, I was wondering when that was coming because I remember.
Well, it was supposed to come out, I think, for All New, All Different. No, not All New, All Different. All New Marvel now, the second one, because it was supposed to be with like Drax and Rocket and all that.
Oh yeah, that makes sense because if it had like Drax, Rocket, Star-Lord, even Star-Lord's gonna have his own again, isn't he?
Yeah, but I think they're redoing his origin again. Like, I'm not sure.
Oh well, there you go. But I don't think there's much else to say about this unless you read it, heard anything else about this new Running with the Devil and the spinoffs.
They've only just literally announced that.
Okay, yeah. So, as we said, it will be in stores February. All of them. Elektra, Kingpin, Bullseye, Daredevil, number 17. So, there you go.
It's time to be a Daredevil and X-Men fan.
And X-Men? Oh, yeah, because of all those X-Men titles that got announced, yeah.
Now you got like 10 X-Men books, and you now got 4 Daredevil books going.
Damn, they really are pushing on Daredevil. I mean, people must. I feel a lot of it, like, because not everybody reads comics, but a lot of people see more of the shows or the movies, and they're probably like, "Oh, Daredevil, I'll go check it out." So,
what do you think? You've now, for the first time in God knows how long, you got a Jessica Jones book and a Luke Cage book going on at the same time.
Ooh, you're right. You're right.
I'm surprised there's no Iron Fist book.
Just give it a minute. It'll come out.
Maybe that's the next one. They'll do Defenders and just...
Oh, and all of them have their own number ones. Everything.
Yeah.
You never know. Before Defenders comes out, you never know. It makes sense. So, with that, we'll move on to the Comics of the Week now. Comics of the Week, November 16, 2016. Now, of course, we didn't do last week's Comics of the Week because we didn't do a show last week. But it's okay. We'll just say, what was our favorite title from last week, Mitch? What was yours? We'll say that. We'll let them know.
You go first. I need to think.
Mine was Detective Comics, man. I really liked it because Batwing is back. He's kind of a dick a little bit, but he's a smart guy. He knows what he's doing. The art is good. And James Tynion, who's writing Detective Comics, continues to prove why he's probably number one, or at least in top 5. But he's so good. And everybody hated on him for what he did to Tim Drake. Shut up, because he's doing super good. Just saying. Because there were people hating on what he did with Tim Drake, but you just gotta realize...
People hate on everything, don't they?
Yeah. You just gotta realize that it's all part of a plan for his story. So, there you go.
Mine's probably going to be Invincible Iron Man #1.
Okay.
Bendis took what he learned from Miles. Instead of like stretching the origin out, he just condensed it. Or it seems he's just condensed it into one issue and like given you like the basic points of like her parents are like both trying to encourage her to like actually like the world she lives in and not be bored about it. And at the same time they're trying not to be scared of like how smart she is, and like we get the personal tragedy that's put her on like this path to wanting to help people out, and like we see just how smart she is, and then at the end she gets the Stark AI, so we can see how that's gonna push the line.
It kind of sucks too though that Civil War 2 is that's supposed to lead from Civil War 2, right?
Yeah.
So it kind of sucks that that's been kind of pushed back even more, and then it doesn't really land up.
No, it got brought forward a week.
Well, I meant like not the issue. I meant like the ending.
Yeah. Well, it ends
a long time after Marvel now.
Yeah. But it was supposed to end by the time people hear this week.
Yeah, I mean that happened with Forever Evil as well. I don't know why, man. Come on, companies. You make all this money, yet you can't figure out sketches.
We know why this one was delayed, so.
Well, yeah, the artist had a baby, and also Brian Michael Bendis is like, I have a new ending.
I'm just going to change it halfway through. Yeah.
All right, so as I said, we're going into the Comics of the Week now, and who went the episode before? Was it you? Was it me? I'll go first.
No idea. You go first, yeah.
It's been 2 weeks. It's hard to remember, right?
Well, it's been a week.
A week?
Well, yeah.
It's been 2 weeks since we did a show.
Well, no, it's 2 weeks since the last one, but we are doing it now, so it's been a week.
I guess.
There's only 1 week in between it.
Yeah, but I guess I just meant counting this week. I don't know. That's math.
But
I'll start off with Green Arrow number 11 because I don't have too much to say about it other than it's good as usual. Benjamin Percy still knows how to write Green Arrow and Black Canary and makes Diggle such a cool guy after the show kind of messed him up the last couple seasons, and everybody loved Diggle at first and everybody was okay with him. They were way more okay with him than Felicity. So, but then they messed him up. Benjamin Percy knows how to write these characters, especially Green Arrow, because he's always making quips. He's fun. He's smiling. He's like, it doesn't matter if he's like there's sharks about to eat him. He'll make a joke about it probably and be like, all right, let's go, guys. So, but this issue was just continuing the story that happened issue before. They're on a train. There was a murder that happened. They have to solve it. But Black Canary, Green Arrow, and Diggle are trapped and they have to fight in a train that goes underwater. That sounds awesome to me, honestly.
That's dope.
Yeah, so it was really fun. There was a lot of cool moments, especially the artist and how he drew it. The art continues to be good. His name is Juan Ferreira. He just has this cool kind of it seems very watercolory, but I don't know if it is.
Yeah.
So, but it makes you feel good. It's fun to read. They keep doing Green Arrow right, and that's what everybody wanted because not a lot of people love the show because it's not necessarily Green Arrow. So you have the actual series in Rebirth doing so good. The big thing about this issue, though, that just caught my eye, of course, Hillary Clinton was in this one. You remember? I showed you Hillary Clinton was in this issue. They didn't even try to hide it. And the other one was kind of just at the end, Black Canary uses her scream and she kind of shatters the glass. The water's coming in and sharks and all this fish are right behind Green Arrow as they ride a bike and to get out of the tunnel. And so cool, like Green Arrow on the back because Black Canary's a badass. She don't need Green Arrow to drive it. She can do it herself because she can kick butt. But they go off like a ramp, then they land and they're like, hey guys, we're back. There's a bad guy. We're going to take him in. Easy as that. Like, he's just such a cool guy. Like, I don't know. But overall, good issue. Very fun. I mean, I miss this suit because this suit was the suit that Green Arrow had in season 4 of Arrow. But then they changed it and they gave him sleeves in season 5. I don't like sleeves. I like it where he's more kind of, you see the skin. Because it's just, it feels better if you're an archer like that. Don't you agree? If you're an archer, I feel like you should have.
Well, I'm not an archer, so I wouldn't.
No,
know.
but I mean, look at movies and stuff like that. It seems like, look at Hawkeye. Oh, I mean, Hawkeye has sleeves in Avengers: Age of Ultron, but
no, he has a sleeve.
Okay, but it just seems like archers should be more free, like you know what I mean. So that's just to me what it looks
less
like.
Restricted movement.
Exactly. So overall, good issue. Go ahead.
Sweet. I wasn't saying Invincible Iron Man. It's not. It's Infamous Iron Man. The second issue, it's carrying on pushing home that Victor is either trying to be or he is just generally now a good guy. Yeah. Like he hunts down the Mad Thinker. I think it's the Mad Thinker, yeah. And he's working on some like robot stuff, and like Victor ends up shutting that down and like saving a couple of kids in the process. And it's not really a lot happens outside of that. Like he ends up going to see Dr. Amara again, and she ends up shooting him because he's scared her.
Oh.
And he's like, "What the fuck you do that for? Like you shot me? Why?" And as she's treating him inside the house, like the Thing from the first issue, who we know is after Victor, like he just ends up busting through the wall, and like that's literally all that happens in the issue. But like as I said, it is doing a good job of like pushing that this isn't the Doom we know. Like he's not the same like God King Doom. He's not the Doom from before that. This is a slightly different, like in the loosest terms, like Victor Von Doom. And I don't know. I'm not entirely sure where Bendis is going to take this, but it's kind of obvious that they're going to cross it over with Invincible. But yeah, that's all I've really got to say on that issue.
For me, next I'll do Green Lantern 11, and the majority of it was Frank Leminski, which still such a weird name to me. I've never really heard Leminski in my life besides now.
Well, it's just another ski name, isn't it, really?
Yeah, so, but he has the Phantom Ring now, and his dreams have become a reality. He's the Green Lantern, at least he thinks so. Because, as we know, the Phantom Ring, it's kind of not a prototype, but a basic White Lantern ring. It can use all the emotional spectrums, but the difference is, with the White Lantern ring, similar to the other rings, the ring chooses its bearer, which means when the ring chooses you, it means you're strong enough to withstand and to utilize into the emotional spectrum that you're being brought into. But with the Phantom Ring, anyone can use it, no safeguards. So the difference is, with the White Lantern Ring, like Kyle Rayner, he can access all of it whenever he wants to. With the Phantom Ring, Frank can't. It's whatever emotion he has, the Phantom Ring changes him to that lantern. So he doesn't really control the ring controls him.
Yeah. Now, do you think the ring's going to be a Galaxy Note 7?
Maybe. It might blow up on him.
It's just going to blow up in his face.
It might. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. Especially after this issue, because, I hate him now. I actually really do. He has such a, what do you call that shit? Eating grin, right? Like,
yeah.
Oh my gosh. Because this issue, as I said, majority him. It's his inner monologue, dialogue, whatever you want to call it. He's talking, he's doing his thing. He wants to go be out a hero, or he wants to go out and be a hero, and basically saying that if you just keep doing you, if you keep dreaming, your dreams can become a reality. You just gotta persevere and all that, because I'm a Green Lantern now, and dreams come true. And then he's just like, you didn't even earn it, man. But he kind of stole it. And then he goes and to save this little girl and her dog because a random tornado shows up in front of their house. He saves them from the tornado, but once he saves the kid, he's all like, "Hey kid, I just saved you. Appreciate some words of appreciation would be nice." And then she's like, "Can you go get my dog?" It's like, "I guess." And then he even gets on the news for saving the day, and he just has that smile you want to punch off his face. And I even felt bad for him when you see his origin. I'm like, man, all this dude wanted to do was be a Green Lantern. The ring never chose him. He worked so hard. He almost killed himself. But now I'm just like, he's so conceited. He's power hungry. He also burned some old lady's house down so he can distract the other Green Lanterns, Baz and Jessica, to get the ring. He's not deserving of it. And, but that's the majority of the issue. Baz and Jessica, of course, they try to meet up with them to fight him. He ends up turning into an Orange Lantern because of how greedy he gets in that moment. And Batman even shows up, which is awesome because Batman...
Of course Batman shows up. He has to show up.
Well, it's him and Carol Ferris, which is Hal's, girlfriend, wife, whatever you like, significant other, love interest.
Yeah.
And basically they're both like, Baz, stop being an idiot on TV, because he tried arguing with Frank on TV, and Frank, at least when you're watching on TV, you can't really tell who's the better person, because sometimes the idiot will make you look like an idiot. So that's what happened here, and just feel bad for Baz. But yeah, it was pretty good. Now, I will say though, and of course the writer's doing good, Sam Humphries. I think he's doing pretty good. I like the design of Frank's Green Lantern uniform. I know you don't. The shoulder pads are outdated, right? In your eyes. It reminds me of the Saiyan armor, Dragon Ball Z.
That's one reason I don't like it.
I don't know who created the suit, if it was Sam Humphries or was it the artists, they had to come up with it themselves. But I think it's okay, because it's kind of like he's an old school military guy, and it makes sense. And also with the cape as well, that's what he thinks a Green Lantern should look like, someone in power.
Yeah.
So,
I can understand why it looks like it does. It just doesn't look great.
Okay, I can understand that. And the last thing I want to mention, though, is just that someone had mentioned somewhere in a comment saying, what if him and Godspeed teamed up? That would be an awesome team up, because you mentioned before, those two heroes are the ones who actually really wanted to be heroes, more than the anti-heroes, I think, like a Suicide Squad or whatever. But they're the ones who actually wanted to be heroes, but then they got power hungry, they got greedy. So if we got maybe other heroes that were similar like that, or other villains, I meant, that were similar like that teamed up together, that would be a pretty cool team up. And now I would read the heck out of that in whatever you want to call it, in Justice League or something. Because there's already in the Justice League, there's a Legion of Doom, but this can be like a different version of it and whatnot. So yeah, other than that,
pretty cool idea.
Yeah, go ahead.
DC, amazing. Yeah, have that for free. Yeah, or not. Amazing Spider-Man 21. It's picking up from the Clone Conspiracy 2, which was last week. That basically introduced us to Kane again, because Kane's now back, even though he didn't actually die. He was just hanging around somewhere else. And he's working with Gwen Poole, who took the place of Gwen Stacy that we thought was reanimated, quotes, by the Jackal, because the Jackal's reanimating everyone that's died on Parker's watch, so Parker doesn't have blood in his hands. And it's a very different take this event's going. I didn't see this coming at all. But it's basically an issue like they did for Doc Ock, where it's like, this is how Doc Ock got to how he is now. This is how Kane and Gwenpool got to where they are in the story. Which, I mean, fair enough. Like, it's good to know this stuff, but at the same time, it's just like, because it's just basically become Spider-Verse 2. Like, Kane finds out he's alive. He finds out about all these like zombies, which the clones become or reanimations become eventually, and like it's all throughout like the Spider multiverse. Like this is happening, and they're trying to pinpoint it, and then Gwenpool comes in and tries to help him out, and they just literally end up at the Clone Conspiracy 2 trying to help Parker out because Parker's the reason why it all happens because obviously it's Parker, and like it's just I don't know, it's an okay issue. Like it's kind of essential, but at the same time, it's like I'm not a fan of how you're getting something, you're getting the reveal, and then you're getting the story of how. It's kind of like, can we just like not have that bit? Because with Doc Ock, we had like, oh, Doc Ock's back. It's like, well, we knew he was back anyway because you told us he was back like the issue before Clone Conspiracy started, and then you used the next issue of Clone Conspiracy to retell that story. And now you've just gone, oh, Kane's back, even though we kind of knew that from Spider-Verse. And then the next issue is this is how he got to this point. It's just kind of like, can we? It seems to be going like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. If you get what I mean, it's just like, can we just get on with the story? But it's decent enough. It's not bad, but hey, what can you do? I'm just more interested to see how, like, since we find out it's basically going to be a zombie apocalypse, if these clones don't take these pills, like, how do you stop this? Because it's already technically begun. And like, it's such a different direction to what I thought they were going to take it. It's kind of, I'm more interested to know that part than all this like fillery bit, but yeah.
Okay, before I paused it, but something I don't know if you saw this, bitch. This is so stupid. I wanted to put this in the main group because some dude, random egg person on Twitter who has a website called El Scupo said that Andre murdered Armin.
Whoa.
Yeah, I'm gonna put what should I put Armin? I didn't know you died. Here, I'm gonna send you the. I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna send it to Taco Chat. It's so weird.
Scoop Nation Weebly. The world mourns the loss of popular YouTuber.
I see.
By rival YouTube channel Future XMD DC Comic Zone.
Oh no, I'm gonna put Armin. I didn't know Andre was your rival.
Who's extra and why?
I don't know. I don't know who these dudes are.
I just got followed by one of them.
Me too. They're just, that's so random. I guess you know you made it if someone fakes your death.
Yeah.
It's like Jackie Chan.
Yeah, but he got an Oscar, didn't he? Or an honorary Oscar.
Yeah, but
recently.
People kept faking his death.
Oh, they fake loads of people's death, don't they?
Yeah. That's so weird. It just, I don't know. I just looked on Twitter real quick and then I had tagged him. I was like, what happened? It's just so weird. All right, but we'll go back into it. So it was my turn, but
yeah.
I just want him to comment. Hopefully he comments. I mean, he's gonna freaking laugh about it, like, and then maybe call it cosplay. He might laugh about it first. All right, ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, I'll go mine. 3, 2, 1. All right. So my next one, I got Batman number 11. Now, not much to say in this part other than this is part 3 of I Am Suicide. Batman has his own Suicide Squad as he's going into Santa Prisca to kidnap Psycho Pirate to help Gotham Girl because he made her crazy, and to make her uncrazy, he has to go get him because Bane captured Psycho Pirate and has him locked up somewhere. So he has to go fight Bane, basically. That's why he has the Suicide Squad. Or his own Suicide Squad. And his plan was to get captured, because Batman always has a plan, apparently. And he gets captured and all that. Now his plan's active. Catwoman has to go do something. But the big thing about this issue is that, or at least this series so far, is that Tom King seems to be the more controversial writer the last couple of years, because Scott Snyder had so many praises. But with Tom King, there's so many people who don't wait for
Well, it's like it's very different styles of
yeah.
writing. Like if you look at Snyder's run, it's very event like or
Yes,
event
it
esque.
is.
Like you have massive event, massive event, massive event, massive event. Tom King, like I haven't read his run at the minute, but it's
Yeah.
kind of I don't know. I think he's a more low key writer. Like
Yeah.
especially if you look at Vision, because I've seen people compare this to his Vision run. Like Vision was very low key, and then it like peaks and then valleys again, and
Yeah. This
kind
is
of
this is exactly how Batman is starting off, and I think it's pretty good because at least because the payoffs always happen at the end of the arcs, and I think it was
yeah,
worth it for the first arc. This is and in this arc, I think it's definitely gonna be worth it because the controversial thing that's happening here is he kind of changed up a little bit of Catwoman's origin. Apparently, she got into Arkham Asylum after killing 243 people that were, I guess, a part of a extremist group that burned or bombed her foster place, like where all the foster kids were at, where she was
yeah,
at. So that was one of the first things that people got controversial about with Tom King. Second one was that apparently now she's given up Batman until Bane's like, all right, hey, Batman's in the vents. He came to break your bag and break out Psycho Pirate and steal him for something. But yeah, he's here, and these people who try to con you are with Batman as well. I was, but I'm not anymore. So yeah, do your thing, Bane. But and she also kills two bad guys that apparently were on Batman's Suicide Squad. Though the thing is, what I think the payoff's going to be is that she didn't double cross Batman. It's all part of the plan to quote unquote double cross Batman to make it look real. And
yeah,
then she's gonna double cross Bane. She was like a triple agent. And then they're gonna get Psycho Pirate throughout because the characters or the villains that Catwoman killed, they're two characters that are very skilled in showing people something happened to them or that they are something that they're not. Like in the first I Am Suicide part for Batman, that character, the guy character, because it's a couple character, guy and a girl, the guy character was disguised as Commissioner Gordon, and Batman knew the whole time, but no one else knew. Because Batman
yeah,
knew, because Gordon, I guess, used his right or his left or something, and then this character used his left or his right, the opposite. So that's why he can get in disguise, and with this, I think he's disguised as being dead. So that's what I think it is. Maybe she did kill him, and that's like, okay, Tom King, but I'll still wait till the payoff. But overall, it was
yeah.
a good issue.
It's like Tom King's very much a writer where you have to wait.
Yeah, exactly.
It all comes together in the end.
But that's a good issue, so go ahead.
Sweet. Spider-Man number 9. Not much to say about it. There's not even a lot of miles in this issue. I think all you really see of Miles is that Captain America vision from Civil War 2, which we've seen that 4 or 5 times now since it's happened. Just like, yeah, we get it. He might kill Captain America. He's not, but he might. But yeah, it's everyone has no idea where he's gone. So like we know he's in Washington DC, like trying to prove that he's not going to do it. But like you have Sam and Kamala, they break into his apartment looking like through the computer to try and find us any like clue to where he's gone. They get caught by his father Jefferson, who then in turn goes to Maria Hill through a barbershop. It's like a little Luke Cage style. He's like, "Oh, I want this cut," and he goes down, probably like old school spy movie. And like she ends up telling him what's going on, but doesn't really give me the answers that he wants. Yeah. Bombshell and Golden Balls, they're kind of like nonchalant. They're going, "Hey, you'll be alright. No, he's fine." No. And then you get Gank, who is more the focus of this issue, and he goes to the blogger that Bendis introduced a couple of issues back, who's like obsessed with Miles. And he's like, "I need your help. Like you've got an audience. You've got like a wide net over America. Like, can you ask these people to, like, if they've seen or heard anything, to like write in or whatever to let us know where he is?" And like they end up finding out he's in New York, and because Gank knows the Vision, he's like shitting himself because he thinks that the superheroes are going to go there to kill him, or like end up accidentally killing him, which we know they don't because of Champions. But like, if you kind of ignore what's come out that happens afterwards, like the tension would have been quite good. But yeah, that's the issue.
All right. Mine is Trinity number 3, and this is continuing the whole Poison Ivy has made him go to sleep with sleep powder, basically Pokemon reference, as you would say. And now the first part was Superman kind of seeing Pa Kent and Superman Clark as a kid, and Batman and Wonder Woman looking on and seeing how his life or Clark's life as a kid was with Pa Kent and everything, how they felt about each other. And in this one was more Bruce and his childhood and the moment his parents died. And at first they thought this was them revisiting the past, but then they realized that no, this is someone creating a world for them to live in, for them to basically be occupied while Poison Ivy does something. Because as we know, in the solicitations, Mongol is coming, and this is kind of a take on the man who has everything, if I said that correctly. The arc or the story where Superman is kind of incapacitated and he has dreams of when he's still on Krypton, he's lived his whole life there, he has a son and everything, and it's basically to keep him occupied while Mongol takes over the world. But yeah, so this is what's happening here. But this one was pretty good. Francis Manapul continues to write these characters very well, and the art by Clayman, not necessarily Francis Manapul's art, but very similar, and both still very good. I think the difference is, with Francis Manapul, his look more watercolory than for Clayman's. Clayman's looks more arty, if that makes sense. Like one looks more watercolor, one more looks like art, like regular art. But they have the similar style in the way they draw, I think. So it looks similar. But overall, good art, good story, because it's a lot of like Batman kind of just, all right, I have to, this is it's not just Batman experiencing it and saying, all right, I gotta embrace the future with my two comrades, Superman and Wonder Woman, but it's kind of all three of them going through the most painful and kind of those moments that each of them made them become what they are. So, yeah, that's what it is, and all of them experiencing it together. So that's, I think, what Francis Manapul is trying to do with Trinity, kind of give them each of these moments and the most impactful moments in their life so they can understand each other more and better, and so they can end up being a really good Trinity. Because in previous years, or in previous series for Trinity, these characters have known each other for years. But in this one, not really. Wonder Woman and Batman know each other for maybe 2 years or 1 year. I don't know how long it's been in comic years. But Superman is fairly new, maybe a month or two old. So that is why this is happening right now, to kind of bring them together and to know that they got to team up more than usual, especially for what's coming, because we know what's coming with the whole Watchmen thing. So that's but overall, good issue, man. I really am digging this, and I think this is gonna be. I think we're missing this, because before we had in New 52 we had Superman and Batman and Superman and Wonder Woman, but now we scratched those off and just get Trinity, and I think this is better. So yeah. Go ahead.
Doctor Strange number 14. Jason Aaron has a lot of fun with this. Like, he really pokes at the amount of devils and hells Marvel has. Because like, in the last issue, Strange was taken from like the Nightmare Realm by Satana, and he ends up in her own personal hell. And she goes on about like how the damnation business is booming, because like, who wants to spend eternity in church? Like, down here you can have you can party with your favorite like overdose rock star or like alcoholic actress and all this and that. And it's just like, hell was just like a lot better. And like, to separate her own hell from the others and like her father's and all this, she wants Doctor Strange to be like the main attraction, to get like people to stay in this diner. And like, he refuses, and like, to kind of keep him there and like to get his soul, she feeds him demon bacon, which is obviously extremely harmful to like the human body. So like, he's being killed from the inside out, and like left to die, like it's being hung up like a bit of meat. So he ends up going into his astral form and pushing it out, and we're not entirely sure. They never specify which end he pushes it out of, but it's just a pile of gunk on the floor and it's bacon. And he ends up escaping hell through a portal in Newark.
That just sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's like, he's very tongue in cheek in this issue, and I kind of hope the movie like takes some cue, like the sequel takes some cues from this arc, because it'll be a nice way to like introduce the other villains and like different realms. Like the realms aren't just strange places; they're actually people in them. But yeah, at the end, he ends up getting to a cab that's being driven by the Orb, who was from Infinity. Who I can't remember if he's a new Watcher or not. I'm pretty certain. He ended up being a new Watcher. And he's like, I know you're going to kill Baron Mordo. I just want to watch. Because obviously he's a giant eye. But yeah. So it's just kind of like this arc's now going to come full circle. It started with Mordo now. I imagine it's going to end with Mordo. Which is only fitting, really. But yeah, it's a good issue.
That sounds awesome. I mean, Jason Aaron is always, like we said, one of those writers, A+ writer, so good at what he does. Yeah, so definitely. I can't wait to catch up on that. My last one will be Superman number 11. This is the second and last prologue to the Super Son series that will be coming out in February. Right, because this, I mean, remember, we were wondering, oh man, when is Super Sons even coming out? But
it's only been 4 fucking months.
Yeah, because it was originally like said to launch with the beginning ones, and then it didn't. It got kind of delayed, but
it was going to be one of the launch ones, and it was going to be one of the second ones, and the third, and the fourth. Then it was going to be the second wave of Rebirth, and now it's going to be the new year.
I wonder if the reason, not only because of something with the writer, but it's because they realized, oh, we want to do a prologue first to get everybody introduced more to these two characters, and then they delayed it.
Yeah, but it was probably more of like, shit, we've just got we got a character no one particularly likes in a minute, and we got a character no one actually knows.
Yeah.
So let's actually build these up and not just like send them to the dog straight away.
Exactly, and I think that was the perfect plan of action, because now after reading it and after seeing so many comments on this, everybody is on board with Super Sons. I mean, you were even on board. You're like, you were the one who was like, why do we even need this more than anybody? And then you just started realizing.
I was the one on board straight away. I was one.
I thought you said like, why do
this was like one of the only DC books that actually interested me. So,
but this one interests me, this issue, because of just. It's so much fun, and not only with the writer Peter J. Tomasi, but the way the art is done with Patrick Gleason and McGray, because it feels so vibrant and it never kind of stops. It always feels colorful, and it always feels like their personalities coming off, if you know what I mean. So the whole issue is basically John and Damian have to go through these tests that Superman and Batman basically put together so they can team up and learn to work together, because eventually, as they get older and become Robin, Superboy, maybe even Batman and Superman one day as they grow old, they're going to have to work together. And it's crazy how it's not Nightwing, it's not Dick Grayson, it's not other ones, because they are older, but it's Damian and John. Like you said,
well, if you think like Dick, Grayson's his own hero in his own right,
and he's also found his own best friend too in Kid Flash. Yeah,
and like what's the other? Who's Red Robin?
Tim Drake. He died.
Yeah, he became a hero in his own right. Like,
and he had his girlfriend.
Jason Todd did the same thing. Like.
Well, they all had their own team. Dick Grayson had the Titans. Tim Drake had the Teen Titans, which Damian kind of now has. But I think I'm gonna like him more with John. Jason Todd. He was Red Hood, so he's a loner, but now he has like his Dark Trinity thing, and but this is just really, really fun, because you just see them go through these trials. They're on a mountain. They don't even have their suits at first. They have to go reach their suits. They have to fight off like someone, and you gotta like both of them. Like John doesn't necessarily have Superman powers yet. He has the basics. He can run pretty fast. Yeah. He can be pretty strong. He has heat vision. He can't fly. He has free breath too, so that helps. But the whole thing throughout this issue, you just see Damian's like, "Get away, kid! I can do it myself. You're just holding me back," because he's that guy. And then John's like, John's like, "All right, I'm gonna have to show up to prove Damian wrong," and he does a bunch of times, because if it wasn't for John, a lot of the times they wouldn't have made it. Even when Damian says, "I can do it by myself," so it's one of those moments, because there's even this thing where they're on a train that's eventually gonna fall into like a piece of land or something, or the ocean. It's gonna explode, and they have no way out, and John is the one who figures out the way out. So that's what's cool. But one of my two favorite moments in this issue is the moment which I showed you already of how when they're heading over the Antarctic, most likely, and it's the Northern Lights, and they end up sleeping, and John kind of asks, do you think we're ever going to grow up to be like our dads? Are we going to be friends or something, brother in arms? And then Damon's like, no. But when you both look at their faces, because the way the artist drew it, because John is smiling, Damon has that little like frown, but you could tell he kind of wants to smile. It's just like they're both.
He's reluctant to say yes.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that he'll say no, but deep inside he's like, "You're pretty good, kid. You're pretty good on your own." Like he won't say it, but just know he'll respect you in the end. So,
he has to keep that crusty exterior.
Exactly, or else he's not him. And it's just fun. Both of them show off their personalities really well, especially Damon, because of how, like you said, these two characters. Damon is a character not a lot of people liked. John's a character not a lot of people knew. You learn more about John. You learn to like Damon a little bit more because of his personality, and it's just going to be a great series. And I'm surprised. I'll be surprised if we don't end up having any type of animated thing with them, whether it be an actual show, 20 to 25 minutes, whether it be a web series type thing like Pokemon Generations, where it's like 4 to 5 minutes, something small, or whatever it may be. I will really be surprised. And after a year of Super Sons, we don't have that, because
I will guarantee the first arc will be a DC animated movie.
Probably. Because I just think because these two are just amazing. I think everybody agrees. And these two are going to be talked about for, like, similar to, I guess, Kid Flash and Nightwing and Batman and Superman. These two are going to be talked about forever. And I'll be sad for the day that whether John dies or Damien dies. Because I don't know. Because, you know, sometimes in comics, some of these characters go away, right? You don't have them all the time. Yeah. So I'm going to be sad. I'm like, man, they're gone. But it's for the better when some of these characters go away, so they can kind of revamp them and make them with different stories. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And like I said, I really like this issue. They both end up working together when it matters, when they have to fight an actual villain. And Alfred is just like the father who's going to, like you said, give him all the sass. Because he's just...
Alfred's sassy. He has all the sass.
And overall, as I said, Peter J. Tomasi does really good in this, or I think it might have been Patrick Gleason who wrote it, but I think they co-wrote it, but I don't know who wrote most of it. So either way, really good. And I think the favorite moment is just at the very end when Bruce and Clark take them to go cut a tree down, possibly for Christmas, because it's snowing, and they end up just fighting each other like kids do. And Bruce and Clark are like, boys will be boys, I guess. So that's such a great moment to see them both be fathers like that, because Superman was never technically a father. Like, he had Superboy, but
he was always a clone, wasn't it?
Yeah, he wasn't really an actual son to Superman.
Yeah.
And Bruce had sons like them too, but like he didn't have a son. They were all kind of paternal, or what do you call it? Like the sons that are not biological, but you raise them. So like
adopted.
The Robin, but they're all the Robins were adopted, and they weren't really his biological son until Damien. So this is cool that they both get a biological son that they can finally team up with. And I think that's what's going to make it. So that's my spiel of why Super Sons is going to be amazing. So
they're even more like Goku and Vegeta now, aren't
they? Yeah. Well, some would say it's weird because they kind of remind you of Goten and Trunks, as some would say, but it's Goku and Vegeta as the parents. So
well, they're still the parents.
Even in Dragon Ball Z, because like Gohan's like doing his own thing always.
Well, no, like Goten. Yeah, Goten.
Yeah, Goten is Goku.
Still,
it
still works out.
But I don't know. I guess the way I saw it, I always saw
even though they probably turned like Trunks up a bit more, like the ego up slightly. But
yeah. But overall, this is just awesome. I love this type of stuff.
Yeah, I swear to God, if they do a fusion dance in Super Sons,
you know there's gonna be a joke about that. You know, and then Damien's gonna be like, "What are you doing?"
They've missed the shot. Just one panel of John doing that pose,
and then Damien in the smirk, like, "What are you doing?" Like that'll be the funniest thing ever. So go ahead. I love that.
Well, from Super Sons to Thanos, it's completely like contrasting books.
Yeah.
Lemire is doing something different with this. Like, he puts Thanos back on the throne he once had, and like he his general, the Black Order, Corvus Glaive. Well, he doesn't actually kill him; he kills himself because apparently that's merciful to Thanos. But the main not a lot really happens in this, but it sets up something quite interesting. Like Death and Thanos' son Thane, who is an Inhuman somehow. I suppose Eternals and all that it works. But they've sent the Champion of the Universe out to fetch people, and in this issue he's gone to fetch Thanos' brother Starfox, because Lady Death knows a secret, and the secret for Thanos is that he's dying for the first time ever, and since Infinity War, he's actually being allowed to die, because for the last 25 years he's been immune for it. She's cast him out, so it's a very different style of story for Thanos, to say the least, and one that I hope. Do I say hope? Well, one that I'm gonna predict is gonna lead into an Infinity event, because every time we've had a Thanos book, it's led into something and played a larger role in the Marvel universe around it.
I think not only have you said it before, but I kind of agree with you in the sense that since Civil War, the movie was coming out, the event started to come out, and in Infinity War, the movie, so maybe Infinity Gauntlet 2 or something, so it makes sense. It seems like all the dots are connecting.
I wouldn't be surprised if they straight up come out with an Infinity Gauntlet 2.
Yeah.
Kind of like in the Ultimates, it's set up that Thanos is actually back because he's trying to court nothing, as weird as that sounds. Mm-hmm. And then you have this, so it's kind of like, well, what's the Ultimate set up for? Like, what is he actually going to try to do what he, to get the attention of nothing? Even I don't even know if there's an embodiment of nothing, or if nothing's just actually literally nothing, which would be an interesting idea if they did that. So, the pieces are there, and it's kind of like, well, you've got Enemy of the State 2, Civil War 2, why not make it a third and go for Infinity Gauntlet 2? Whether it be this year, not this year, next year, 2017 or 2018, probably 2018, I'd imagine, if they can stretch it out that long. Actually, no, 2017 probably, because then the first one comes out in 2018.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't do it, but
I mean,
I'm still.
You've been right on a bunch of things, like Tony being an AI and all that. So, yeah. We got Mosaic. I don't know what I'm trying to think of. What do you call it when someone can see the future?
Is it foresight?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go with that. That's you, Mitch. That's your promise.
But yeah, it's a very interesting first issue, and I just want the rest of it now. But I know I'm gonna feel all the feels if he does end up dying. Which I doubt he would.
What was your favorite out of those 5?
Probably, I'm gonna go with that, with Thanos. Mm-hmm. I would have said Reborn, but I didn't mention Reborn. But.
Of course, Superman 11. I love the Super Sons. I had a spiel about it. I mean, this is what we've been waiting for. Something like this. This is something I never knew I wanted. Like having a go.
Well, that's always the best thing. Is like you don't know you want something, and
then when you get it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so good.
Like when you think you want something, you get it. It's always but if they give you something you didn't know you wanted, that's you get it.
Mm-hmm. So with that, I don't think there's really anything else unless we have any breaking news or what's next week. When is Ghost Rider coming out? Did it come out already?
The last week of this month.
I don't know why I thought it came out already for some reason. I thought I missed it.
Well, I thought it was the first week of November, but it wasn't. And I thought, it must be the next one. It wasn't. And I thought it was the next one. It's not. It's the last one.
It's gonna keep.
I will be right.
Yeah. One of these days. So I guess with that, until next time.
Yeah. Toodles.